Hello and welcome once again to my next of the Expendables reviews that I'm doing, and this one will be for the second one and first of all, it is actually my favourite one of the three films, and I don't think I'm alone in that one. I think for most people and the critics as well, they actually were like, okay, this is entertaining, this one at least, and I agree with them. I think it is a very fun, it's stories, the same old, but I'm going to do my usual from the reviews here. I'm going to say about the cast quickly, the story, then I'll give all my pros and my cons, and then a kind of overview at the end. So first of all, the cast, they're all kind of mostly back of the ones that were in the first one, bar from the villains of Eric Roberts and sadly Mickey Rourke, who weirdly I never talked about in the first one. I would love to know why I didn't talk about him in the first one, because I really actually like Mickey Rourke and I wish he did come back, because apparently the second one and the third one he was supposed to come back, but for some odd reason that just never happened, and I think it's quite a shame almost, to be honest, because especially acting wise he did a pretty damn good scene in the first one, and I think that's a little bit of a shame. So the cast then, bar from all the ones that came back, the new ones, we've obviously got Chuck Norris, which was great to see come back into films as a huge action guy. It was quite good seeing him come back again, and he was almost becoming like a myth of, you just never, you didn't really see him for a while, and obviously the villain being Jean-Claude Van Damme, who is again, you know how he just knows he's in this kind of film, and he's taking every second he can of just going out there, I think, a little bit, to be honest, and I like that, to be honest. So, and the story of this film, the story, yes. Again, the story is thin. I would say that is thin. It basically kind of revolves. At first, it was really of Bruce Willis's character, CIA, basically telling Stallone and his team that they need to go get this device and all that. Then, worst comes to worst, and shit happens, and that's actually what happens. Shit happens. It's crazy. Then Van Damme's character, with a scene actually I quite like of how they introduce Van Damme's character of his name. His character's name is Jean Valin. You see how they done that little pun there. That's a funny one, isn't it? Jesus, I wonder how long that took Stallone to think of that name. Jeez. So yeah, so that happens then. Van Damme's character, spoiler alert if you've not seen the film, but why would you watch a review if you've not seen the film? Come on. So, Van Damme's character ends up killing one of the young recruits that Stallone's character recently just got, Chris Hemsworth's brother, because let's be honest, that's all he's ever going to be known as. Not his actual name is Liam, it's just going to be Chris Hemsworth's brother, or Chris Hemsworth's least untalented brother. So that kind of happens, and obviously it becomes more of a revenge film of the Expendables hunting down Van Damme, while Van Damme's character is mining a village to get, what was it, platanium? Bloodadium? I don't know. I can't speak English, so, it's a miracle, frankly. I can say one word, really, let alone any word, frankly. So that kind of all happens. Then, in typical beautiful action fashion, everything just goes tits up. And a scene that I really quite like, where they all come together and then they fight, basically. But that's obviously more coming into my pros, which I'm just going to go into now. So, my pros within this film is the action. I think they really kind of stepped up with the action in this film, if I'm honest. They really went, right, let's really step up on here. And there's a sequence that I do just love, and frankly I would have put it as my number one greatest airport action scenes, but sadly a little film came out only like a month ago that kind of bet that one really for me. But it's a close second, I guess, of the airport scene that's in Expendables 2, because let me try and kind of draft it out for you. One side you've got the three big legends of action, frankly, of Stallone, Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis standing together side by side shooting against Jean-Claude Van Damme, and please don't tell me how you don't find that amazing, really, frankly. And I love the whole sequence and how over the top it is, and It's silly, yeah, don't get me wrong, but I love it, and I love the little scene with the Bruce Willis gets a car, and Schwarzenegger just rips off the car door, and it's like, my shoe's big in this car, and it's like, right, okay, Jesus, we're getting a little bit kind of into the more superhero genre here, but I still kind of loved it though, to be fair, and see them all together, and Bruce Willis kind of looking like he kind of cares. I don't know, it's kind of hard to notice nowadays, frankly, but my other kind of pros is actually Van Damme as the villain, because I think after Eric Roberts, who was good, don't get me wrong, but when you get someone who, for me, is such an action icon as the villain, I just loved, and I think almost he kind of regrets it though, Jean-Claude Van Damme, because now he's coming out saying that he kind of wants to have like a twin, that he's actually a good guy, so he could just fight alongside Stallone and Schwarzenegger, which I quite like, but I think it would be a bit kind of a bit silly and again a cheesy, which is ironic saying that for the franchise that I'm talking about right now, but anywho. And my other kind of pros that I have is the opening sequence actually. That's a pretty damn good opening sequence. It really is just loud noise and bullets and everything. And that's what I want from this kind of action film, and I loved it. It felt, it felt really over the top, yes, but I can't help it. I loved it with the nice wee kind of bits of Schwarzenegger's character in the mask, and I was the dumb one that was sitting there going, I wonder who it could be under this thing, and I'm just stupid, didn't even realise it was Schwarzenegger the whole time, but there you go, that's me. And I like the more kind of, we got more of development actually of these characters, and that's why I love this franchise. I do like these characters, like, they give more development to Dolph Lundgren's character, Gunnar Jensen, of that he used to be an extremely smart person, and until something, what was it? He became a bouncer because he fancied this woman, and then stuff kind of happened, and he basically damaged his brain really, and lost a lot of his intelligence. But I really like that though, and I like the more development on Terry Crews, simply because you could tell that out of all of the reviews that came out of the first one, people were going, Terry Crews was the best thing about that film, and Stallone read it and went, okay, we need more Terry Crews in this film, because you can tell that's what happened, and I love Terry Crews, and he is good in this film, and I think you need characters, especially in ensemble films like this, you need characters like Terry Crews that does bring in humour, and the size of the guy is pretty ridiculous. Well, he's a huge fella as well, and he really fits into the whole thing, and I loved the Chuck Norris sequence as well, when you first see him. The Cobra line that he gives is great. I really do like. It's a really fun action film. It really is. Like, and on to my cons that I have, and I do have cons. Again, I'm going to say again because I want to drill it into. Hopefully, people will know how much I just don't like it. Is the squibs? The lack of squibs for me, I just don't particularly like, and I wish they would just. I just wish they would go back to him, really, and it's such a shame because the CGI blood just does not do it for me personally. And another con, I wish the film was maybe a good bit longer. I wish there was an extended version almost, because the first and the third both have extended cuts, but for some odd reason the second one does not. And there is quite a lot of deleted scenes in the second one where I think they could have probably actually maybe really used that. Would have, give them more sales and give me more entertainment to watch the film, I guess. But I guess they just didn't really want to. But again, I don't really. The second one is my favourite one of the three. I think it is the best one of the three so far, and soon we'll be going on to review the next one, which will be Expendables 3. So that hopefully, sadly, will be going downhill a little bit from there. But until then, see you later.